Every year, thousands of people around the world suddenly die without warning. One day they seem perfectly healthy. They go to work, spend time with their families, exercise, laugh with friends, and plan their future. Nothing seems wrong. And yet, sometimes, something happens inside the human body that no one could see coming. A person collapses suddenly. Sometimes during exercise. Sometimes while walking. And sometimes even during sleep. When doctors investigate these cases, people are often shocked to hear the same phrase. The person appeared completely healthy. This raises a disturbing question. How can a healthy human body suddenly stop working? To understand this, we first need to understand something important about the human body. Many dangerous medical conditions do not show clear symptoms for years. A person may feel completely normal while something serious is slowly developing inside their body. One of the most common hidden dangers is the heart. The human heart beats more than 100,000 times every single day. It pumps blood through the body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every organ. But the heart is not just a muscle. It is also an electrical system. Inside the heart are special cells that generate electrical signals. These signals travel through the heart in a very precise pattern. They tell the heart when to contract and when to relax. This rhythm creates the heartbeat that keeps us alive. But sometimes this electrical system can suddenly fail. When that happens, the heart may start beating in a chaotic rhythm. Doctors call this an arrhythmia. During a severe arrhythmia, the heart can no longer pump blood effectively. Blood stops reaching the brain. Within seconds, the brain begins to lose oxygen. A person may collapse almost instantly. This condition is known as sudden cardiac arrest, and it is one of the leading causes of sudden death in people who appeared healthy. What makes this even more frightening is that many people who experience sudden cardiac arrest had no idea there was a problem with their heart. Some people are born with genetic conditions that affect the electrical system of the heart. These conditions can remain completely silent for many years. Everything may seem normal until the moment when the heart rhythm suddenly becomes unstable. And when that happens, the results can be immediate. But the heart is not the only hidden danger inside the human body. Another silent threat can develop inside the blood itself. And when it strikes, it can be just as sudden and just as deadly. Another hidden cause of sudden death is something that forms inside the bloodstream. A blood clot. Blood clots are actually a normal part of human biology. When you cut your skin, the body quickly forms a clot to stop the bleeding. Without this ability, even small injuries could be life-threatening. But sometimes blood clots form where they shouldn't. Instead of forming on a wound, a clot can develop inside a blood vessel. When this happens, it can block the flow of blood to vital organs. If a clot blocks a vessel in the brain, it can cause a stroke. If it blocks a vessel in the heart, it can cause a heart attack. But one of the most dangerous situations occurs when a clot travels through the bloodstream and reaches the lungs. This condition is called a pulmonary embolism. To understand why this is so dangerous, imagine the lungs as a complex network of tiny blood vessels. These vessels allow blood to absorb oxygen every time we breathe. But when a clot becomes stuck inside one of these vessels, blood can no longer pass through normally. The heart suddenly has to work much harder to push blood through the lungs. If the clot is large enough, the heart may not be able to overcome the blockage. In severe cases, the person can collapse within seconds. What makes pulmonary embolism particularly dangerous is that the clot often begins forming somewhere else in the body, usually in the deep veins of the legs. A person may feel nothing more than mild discomfort or swelling. Sometimes there are no symptoms at all. But if the clot breaks free, it can travel through the bloodstream like a small moving blockage. When it reaches the lungs, it can suddenly stop the normal circulation of blood. And just like that, a healthy person can collapse. But there is another organ where silent problems can develop without warning. The brain. And when something goes wrong inside the brain, the consequences can be immediate and catastrophic. Inside the human brain runs an incredibly delicate network of blood vessels. These vessels deliver oxygen and nutrients to billions of brain cells every second. But sometimes, a small weakness can develop in the wall of one of these vessels. This weakness is called an aneurysm. An aneurysm occurs when a portion of a blood vessel wall becomes thinner and weaker than the surrounding area. Over time, the constant pressure of blood flow can cause this weak spot to bulge outward. It slowly expands, like a tiny balloon forming inside the blood vessel. The dangerous part is that many people live their entire lives without knowing they have an aneurysm. There may be no symptoms, no pain, no warning signs. A person may feel completely healthy while this small weakness quietly grows inside the brain. But if the wall of the vessel suddenly ruptures, blood can begin to leak rapidly into the surrounding brain tissue. This event is known as a brain hemorrhage. Because the brain controls every vital function in the body, breathing, consciousness, heart rate, severe bleeding can cause immediate and devastating damage. Within seconds, pressure inside the skull can rise dramatically. The brain begins to lose its ability to control the body. A person may suddenly collapse, lose consciousness, or stop breathing. And to the outside world, it can appear as though a healthy person simply died without warning. But in reality, the body had been carrying a hidden risk for years. The truth is that the human body is incredibly complex. Most of the time, everything works perfectly. The heart beats, blood flows, and the brain controls countless processes with incredible precision. But sometimes, deep inside the body, silent problems develop that remain invisible until the very last moment. This is why doctors around the world continue to study the hidden causes of sudden death. Every discovery helps medicine better understand the fragile systems that keep us alive. And the more we learn about these hidden dangers, the better chance we have of detecting them before they become deadly. Because even when everything seems normal on the surface, the human body is constantly balancing thousands of delicate processes every single second. And sometimes, when just one of those systems fails, the results can be sudden, unexpected, and tragic.